Have you ever pondered the purpose of our existence and the meaning of life? This question has been asked by philosophers, scientists, and thinkers across centuries and civilizations. Today, we turn to an ancient text that grapples with these very questions: the Book of Ecclesiastes. Traditionally attributed to King Solomon, the Book of Ecclesiastes is a profound exploration of the human condition. Often considered one of the wisdom books of the Bible, Ecclesiastes presents a unique philosophical perspective on life's key elements: pleasures, toil, wisdom, and folly. Picture a king, bestowed with immense wealth and wisdom, who embarks on a quest to uncover the purpose of life. King Solomon, the supposed author, uses his own experiences as a lens to scrutinize the world around him. He indulges in pleasures, acquires wisdom, and tirelessly works, only to find that all these pursuits, in the end, are like chasing the wind, fleeting and unsatisfactory. This is not to say that Ecclesiastes promotes a pessimistic view of life. Rather, it challenges us to question the value we place on worldly pursuits. It invites us to contemplate on what truly matters in the grand scheme of existence. The Book of Ecclesiastes is a complex tapestry of thoughts and observations. It does not shy away from confronting the harsh realities of life, the inevitability of death, the futility of worldly wisdom, and the transient nature of earthly pleasures. Yet, within this tapestry, there are threads of hope, moments of joy, and humbling reminders of our humanity. In the midst of this philosophical discourse, Ecclesiastes provides a unique perspective on life's pleasures, toil, wisdom, and folly. It is a book that does not provide easy answers, but instead encourages thoughtful contemplation and introspection. So, why do we exist? What is the meaning of life? Ecclesiastes may not hand us the answers on a silver platter, but it certainly provides a roadmap for the journey of discovery. Now that we've set the stage, let's delve into the wisdom of Ecclesiastes chapter by chapter. The first two chapters of Ecclesiastes present a rather bleak picture of life, don't they? In these opening chapters, the author paints a portrait of life's cyclical nature, a seemingly endless loop of birth and death, sunrise and sunset. It's like a vast, spinning wheel, with generations coming and going, yet the earth remains unchanging, indifferent to the fleeting lives that inhabit it. As the author observes, the sun rises, and the sun goes down, and hastens to the place where it rises. There's a sobering rhythm to this existential dance, a monotonous repetition that underscores the transient nature of our existence. Even the rivers, tirelessly flowing into the sea, never fill it up. They return to their place of origin, only to embark on the same futile journey again and again. And what of wisdom and knowledge? They too, according to the author, are insignificant. There's a certain irony in his words as he laments, "For in much wisdom is much vexation, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow." It's as though the more we learn and understand about the world and our place in it, the more we are burdened with the weight of its inherent meaninglessness. Moving on to the fleeting nature of pleasure and material possessions, the author explores the vanity of hedonism and wealth. He indulges in laughter, wine, great works, and the accumulation of riches. Yet, all these pursuits leave him feeling empty. He concludes that there's nothing lasting or truly satisfying in them. They're like chasing after the wind, an endeavor as futile and unfulfilling as the endless cycles of nature he described earlier. The author's disillusionment is palpable. His words ring with a profound sense of futility, a biting critique of the ephemeral and insubstantial nature of worldly pursuits. Despite the bleakness, however, there's a certain wisdom that emerges from these musings, a wisdom that invites us to question our values and the things we chase after in life. In the grand scheme of things, all is vanity, as our author would say. Chapter 3 of Ecclesiastes introduces one of the most profound concepts. There's a time for everything. This chapter presents an elegant tapestry of life, woven with threads of varied experiences. It's a poetic reminder that everything under heaven has its time and season. Consider the rhythm of life, the ebb and flow of experiences. There's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot. There's a time for tears and a time for laughter, a time for mourning and a time for dancing. This isn't just about accepting life's ups and downs. It's a call to embrace them, to understand that they're not just random events, but integral parts of the human experience. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 paints a balanced view of life. It's a gentle nudge, urging us to find meaning and purpose in each season we traverse. Life, in its essence, is a series of seasons, each with its purpose. Moving on, chapters 4 to 6 of Ecclesiastes delve into the vanity of wealth and honor. The author, presumably King Solomon, uses these chapters to express a deeply thoughtful perspective on the futility of chasing after material riches and social prestige. He observes that people often spend their entire lives toiling and striving for wealth, sacrificing their peace, health, and valuable time. Yet this pursuit often leads to an unending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. The more wealth one acquires, the more one wants. This insatiable appetite for more only amplifies life's burdens rather than alleviating them. Similarly, the quest for honor can be just as elusive and unfulfilling. The author notes that people often seek approval and recognition from others, only to find that honor is fleeting and fickle. Today's hero can easily become tomorrow's forgotten man. Thus, the pursuit of honor, much like the pursuit of wealth, can become an exhausting and unending race. But the author doesn't stop at merely pointing out the vanity of wealth and honor. He also offers wisdom on finding contentment and joy in life's simple pleasures. He reminds us that it's not the abundance of possessions that brings happiness, but the ability to enjoy what we have, to eat, to drink, and to find satisfaction in our labor. These are gifts from God. He also emphasizes the importance of companionship, of sharing our lives with others. He notes that two are better than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. Companionship, sharing, and mutual support. These are the true riches of life. In conclusion, chapters 4 to 6 of Ecclesiastes present a profound reflection on the emptiness of wealth and honor, and the importance of contentment and enjoying life's simple pleasures. It's a timeless wisdom that still resonates today, reminding us to focus on what truly matters in life. Wealth and honor, much like life's pleasures, are fleeting and eventually leave us wanting more. Finally, chapters 7 to 12 of Ecclesiastes bring us wisdom, a look at old age, and the conclusion of the matter. These chapters are brimming with insights that are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago when they were penned. Let's start with wisdom. Ecclesiastes paints wisdom as a tool, a guide, and a protector. It's more than just knowledge. It's the ability to apply that knowledge in a meaningful way. It's also a shield, protecting us from folly and leading us to make better decisions. But it's worth noting, Ecclesiastes also warns us that with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more we know, the more we realize how much we don't know. Moving on to old age, Ecclesiastes reminds us that it's an inevitable part of life. And while it's often associated with decline and decay, it's also a time of reflection and understanding. It's a time when we can look back on our lives, learn from our mistakes, and pass on wisdom to the next generation. Yet, Ecclesiastes doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of aging. It highlights the physical and mental challenges that come with it and the inevitable approach of death. But rather than inducing fear, it encourages us to make the most of the time we have. Finally, we arrive at the conclusion of the matter. After exploring the vanities of life, the inevitability of death, and the value of wisdom, Ecclesiastes leads us to a profound conclusion. It tells us that the whole duty of man is to fear God and obey his commands. Now, this might sound daunting, but let's unpack it a bit. To fear God here doesn't mean to be terrified, but rather to hold a deep respect and reverence for him. To obey his commands is to live a life of love, justice, and integrity. It's interesting to note that in the face of life's vanities and uncertainties, Ecclesiastes doesn't advocate for despair or nihilism. Instead, it encourages us to find joy in the simple things, in our work, in our food, in our companionship. It's a reminder that despite its fleeting nature, life is a gift to be cherished and enjoyed. So, what can we take away from these chapters? Ecclesiastes teaches us that wisdom, though it may bring sorrow, is a valuable guide in navigating life's complexities. It reminds us that old age, while challenging, is a time for reflection and insight. And it concludes that the ultimate purpose of life is to live in reverence and obedience to God, finding joy in the simple things and making the most of the time we have. In the end, Ecclesiastes teaches us to navigate life's vanities with wisdom, to find joy in the simple things, and to live in reverence and obedience to God.